Hi, Julia Watts here, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to create a tag or bookmark using just one of the stamps from the new Sentimentally Floral Curios collection, and we're going to use the Posy Chic label just to show you sort of different ways of using it, not just as a whole. So let's see what's on my desk. So we have the Crescent topped tags from Sentimentally. I don't know why I turn that over because you can't see what they're like. Let me just show you. Here they are. So you have here a set of 11 dies. You've got 5 pairs of dies. So you've got the kind of mat or the piece that you're going to work with, and then the layer that goes behind, and each layer cuts out a hole for you, and then you've got a die there that creates or cuts the reinforcer rings for each of the sizes. It's a really good set. So we're going to use that, and you can use this die set to actually create tag shaped cards as well, and there is a video on my YouTube channel that shows you how to do that, and you'll find that in Sentimentally Yours playlist. I've also got on my desk the Posy Chic label from the Floral Curios collection, which it's a new shape, which it will have a die to complement it in the very near future. You see, it's a new stamp. I've not used it before, but we're going to use it on a tag, and we're also going to use sections of it as well. That's the theory anyway. And I've cut out of my dies, I've used this size, which is the largest but one. So I've cut this. This is the super smooth watercolour card from Sentimentally Yours, and then the back, which is the next die here, I've cut out of Mandarin Burst, and I do have a reinforcer that's here, which we're going to use at some point as well. Okay, so let's go into our stamping platform. My mucky sheet platform. Use them to death. Okay, so we can actually butt this up into the corner. Move that sheet. We can put it up to the corner so we know it's not going to move. There's always little dirty marks here, there and everywhere. And let's take our stamp. These are all A6 stamp sets, and there are 6 different shape frames. Doesn't matter which way up you put it because it's symmetrical. We will try and have it so that we've got the lines here straight against the side. We'll try and do that. We might not achieve it, but we'll try. I think that looks straight. It's very hard to tell when it's a clean stamp. I like dirty stamps so we can tell what it's like. But even if it's not straight, you're going to get the idea of what we're aiming at here. Okay. So you're going to pick that up onto our platform. Hopefully the lines will tell me that it's pretty straight. And we're going to just peel it back and then roll it back on, and that way we can get rid of any air bubbles. It's a really weird shape actually, because we've got the flowers on the odd corners, it kind of it makes you think you've not got it on straight, but we'll soon find out. I think I'm going to go for a brown because we're going on to an orange piece of card. I'm going to go for Acorn, which is the lightest of the browns in Versafine Clair. And we're going to ink that up. I'm hoping that I don't need to re-ink it. We'll see. This isn't a silhouette stamp, so hopefully we'll get away with it. Try not to get any ink on that centre section. If you've rolled it back on again, like I did, then you won't have any air bubbles, and so it won't be lifted up in the middle, so you should be fine. Okay. And you will find all of the Versafine Clairs on my website. And all the re-inkers too. Give it a good old press. And let's see what that looks like. I think I might have a bubble there, even though I pulled it back. And here. It's pretty good. I'm going to go again just so it's darker. As I can. I don't think it moved. Hope not. We'll start all over again if it did. They're such beautiful images, they really are. So I'm going to give a bit of attention to the centre bit there. And you will learn, all your stamps will have slightly different pressure points where you need to pay more attention, and it does make a difference as to whether you're stamping with a block or a stamping platform as well. Make sure I've got the tips of all my leaves in. That tip doesn't want to go. That's better. I'm happy with that. I think that's straightish. Straightish. Right, I'm going to leave it in the platform, but I'm not going to actually be using the platform now. Ooh, the magnets have all bounced into one another. Is that big enough block? Just about. I'll go on the wonk. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually stamp some extra flowers in the corners as well. So if you leave it on your platform, then it means that you've got that cushion. Obviously, if you've got one of the stamping mats that Phil used to do, you can use that instead. Goodness knows where mine is, if I've still got it. So we're just going to stamp into the corner, and I think I don't really want the lines coming through of the frame, so I think I'm going to have it like so. Give it a good press. Remember, we haven't got the benefit of being able to go in a second time. So we've got a little corner going on there by magic. So we do the same, I think we do all the same in all four corners. I was just going to do opposites, but I think we're going to do all four corners. Not that the top bit of the tag is a real corner, but we'll figure out what we're going to do up there in a minute. So we go to the bottom here. It won't be necessarily symmetrical because we're placing it. Let's go there. Two corners now. If you wanted to, you could even put a little bit just down here. You could. Should we do it? Let's just do it. Fill it up, make a real border down here, like so. You'd think after all these years I'd be able to show you on the camera properly, wouldn't you? You could go for the tag that's slightly smaller if you wanted to, and then you just about fit the Posy Chic label on. So let's see what we're going to do up here. Let's have, see, we could have it just coming in at the top. let's do that first of all, and then we can fill in around it. So not necessarily having corners up here. Obviously where you're falling off of the die cut, where you've got that kind of ledge that dies always give you, then it won't be perfect, but that's when you bring in your distress ink and you ink around the edges. Okay, looking good. Obviously we're on a messy mat, which doesn't really help, but it's essential that you have something down when you're stamping off the page, because otherwise you've got a mess to clean up and you don't want that. Okay, let's have this cascading down here. And they are, but Phil has called them cascading frames, even though they're not, that description isn't on the stamp itself. That's what he's called them. And let's have a little bit cascading down on the other side as well. See, bookmarks can be, or tags can be bookmarks, so they can be a gift as well. I'm not sure my lines were 100% straight. Okay, so we've got, that's where we're at so far. Let's put it down on this side. So let's now pop a sentiment in the centre, and then all of our stamping is done. And just put that up into the corner. We don't have to, we can use a block, but with some magnets. Here are the pigeons. Ed's asleep on a box of samples at the moment under my desk. The minute I started, he got up and went to the door, and I thought, uh-oh. Ooh, let's have this one. Sending sunshine your way. Quite a nice sentiment, isn't it? There is, with fairy hugs, there are quite, if you were doing this as a actual bookmark, the fairy hugs do quite a few sentiments, which would be really cool. Like relax, and what was the other one? Between the pages of a book is a lovely place to be. We'll do this in the, let's see how many stamps I've got on my desk. Let's stamp this in Acorn as well. Because we're going to be doing oranges, I think this sentiment is just perfect. Okay. I'll put that away in a bit. And let's start colouring. So you can see, if we bring in our bookmark here, or our backer, that's how it's going to look. Okay, so let's do some colouring. So I've gone into set 3 from the watercolour blending brush pens, and you will find them on my website, juliawattscraftstock.co.uk, and you'll also find them at Honeypot Crafts as well. And I've just pulled out a bunch of oranges and a couple of greens from this set. And it's always a good idea to swatch them as well. So, I mean, as it is, they're all from set 3. Normally I would write, if they're coming from different sets, I'd pop a little note in the centre, and we'd have like 3, 3, etc, etc. And so I know where to put them back again if I'm keeping them in sets, which I am at the moment. So let's go for, let's see. Let's go for this darker I think this is this one. Yeah. Let's go for this darker orange. Forgot what it was then. And we just start colouring in. Now, I'm going to use the same techniques that I usually use. So obviously fast forward if you don't want to watch this bit. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to do one of each type of flower. And then we're going to pull that in with this lighter one, which I think, is it this one? No, it's not this one. It's this one, I think. Yes. And then we're going to blend this with the lighter one. And you'll find that the darker one will kind of become more subtle, if you like, but it will highlight that bit of shading that Phil's given us on the stamp. And then we can perhaps grab, is it this one? I think it's that one. We can grab that one from the centre. Okay, let's put that one aside because that's going to have to be the centre. Then we've got roses. So we could go for proper yellow roses actually. So we could go, put some of this on our craft sheet. Might end up being too light, but we'll see. Give it a mist with water. Just to dilute it down a bit. And then where is my watercolour? It's on the desk somewhere, there it is. That's a bit light. I might go a bit darker in a bit. You want to wait until it's dry before you go on with another layer. It's more like antique linen now from Distress. You can colour with your Distress inks as well, and your Distress oxides. I might leave them quite pale actually. I do quite like them like that. And there's another one hiding here. Obviously you'd keep all your ink and reuse it on your others. Then we've actually got, check, this is the dark one, we've actually got another one of these here. Which we then go with the, obviously if you do them all in one go, you don't have to keep checking which colours which, because they look quite different to what they are on the caps, which is why it's a good idea to swatch them. Then we can take perhaps this yellow and use it on, is that the same as that? Let's say that's the same as that. Don't know if it is or not, but that's what we're going to say. Just so we can get a little, we get this spray going, and then hopefully I'll remember the colours I've used to do the others. It's not rocket science. It is quite easy. Watercolour is the easiest type to do. Let's do these little tiny flowers in this bright yellowy colour, yellowy orange. You don't need to do anything complicated with these. There's lots of these, obviously. Then we've just got this flower here and the pansy to do. So where was that other yellow? I've got another yellow somewhere. It's that one. Is it that one? No, that's that one. It's that one. It's like an orangey yellow. Let's use that one, and let's just put some around the edge here with this one. And we use that in the centre of the pansy as well, I think. So, then we take our water brush and just pull the colour out of this one. Because you can blend it with water. I know you probably can't see. The thing is with these flowers, they're so tiny. And then we'll take, let's see, decisions. Is that one? That's that one. Do I want that colour at the back? Yeah, let's have this colour on the pansy. They're only really tucked underneath, so it doesn't really matter how you colour them in. So that's all our flowers in that spray, all coloured in. We've left the rose quite dark. And we've got two different types of leaves. So let's have this one. This kind of bluey green, I suppose it is. Remember, these are all from set 3. They're such good value for money, these watercolour pens. I love them. I use them all the time. Each set is a standalone set. Obviously, if you've got them all, you've got more variety of colours that you can use. Set 1 will be back in stock at some point in the future. Phil has ordered them. So we've got another leaf there. I've just done them. I love this green. Lovely, bright, vibrant green. I'll say that that's one of those as well. Doesn't really matter. I'm just using the water brush just to move that pen around. There's a little one, wasn't there? Here it is. It is. There we go. Pretty. Makes all the difference adding a bit of colour. So, I don't know, I don't know whether to put something that... I'll see what it looks like when it's all coloured in. So I'll come back and I'll show you how it is when everything else is coloured in exactly the same way. Right, so this is where we're at. Everything's coloured in. Show you the... Don't worry about, you know, if you can't figure out what some of them are, because I'm going to ink around the edges anyway. Isn't it pretty? Really nice. I'm still not convinced that it's straight. I don't know. Either it is or it isn't. Who knows? Right, so I do want to actually add a little bit of stamping around the edges, I think, but I don't want to do any more flowers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my stamping platform, because remember, it's a bit of cushion. You could just take this out and stamp on that if you wanted to. In the Notebook Botanicals Notebook Textures, there's this great kind of splotty or spotty stamp. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of that around the edge. Just because we've got lots of little dots all over the place. These are actually slightly bigger. There is also this dotty stamp here, which is also a really, really handy one. So I could use that one. But I think I'm going to use this one here. used this one a lot. It's one of my favourite stamps from this set. And we're just going to go onto an acrylic circle, and again we're going to go with the Acorn so that all the stampings are in the same colour. You can see my stamp is a little bit purple from using a distress archival. So let's have it so that just got a little bit, a few dots coming in. They might be a slightly different colour because the Versafine Clair will wake up the colour of the distress ink underneath, distress archival. So it's just added a little bit, and I actually really like that. I might just go a little bit more because I can. I'll do the other side. I just want to add a little bit down here. This is where you need to step away sometimes. I can't. So we've got some splodges around the edge now, and that just finishes off that blank edge that there was. Happy with that. So we're going to ink around the edges, but first of all let's put our reinforcer on. I'm just going to leave it the same colour. I'm just going to leave it that raw creamy colour from the Super Smooth watercolour card. So the easiest way, I think, is to put a circle of glue on your craft mat and then dip the reinforcer in it. And get off the excess, and then is that an head hair? Cat, I should stop lying on my desk. There we go. That's our reinforcer. Fits perfectly. Remember, there's a different size for each individual sizing in the Crescent top tag set. And then we're going to ink. In fact, first of all, actually, let's just wait for that ink to dry, just to show you. I mean, I've used the Posy Chic label, just to show you can use some of the other frames in the same way. So the rectangle, let's just turn it over. The rectangle will fit just about, with a little bit of overhang, in that largest but one die that I've just used. Obviously you can go up to the biggest one and then it will all fit on, and you've got space, and then you can just fill up the space with the corners. So you can do exactly the same thing as I've just done with the Chic label with the rectangles. Then the octagons, I've not used this one yet. Octagons, that's going to fit in really, really nicely that way on that largest but one tag. And then again, you could stamp the corners in there as well. So you can do exactly the same thing as what I've just done with that one too. Then the ovals. You can do the same thing with this. You can take that largest but one on there, and again, you've got the areas where you can stamp corners. So they all really work perfectly, but sometimes you can't visualise that until somebody actually shows you. So let's just see. The circle, that's going to fit in the same way, or we could, remember, you don't have to fit everything in. You could go off of the page if you wanted to, and you can go on the wonk slightly as well. So that's going to fit. This is the middle size one. So it all fits on the largest but one, as they all do. This one, the square, is probably the most difficult to fit. Doesn't quite fit on that largest but one, but that's fine going off the edge. Again, you've got corners that you can use, but if you went up to the largest one, then you can get the whole thing on. In fact, you can probably get the whole thing on sort of maybe even twice if you do a little bit of masking. So that would go to there. I don't know what I'm trying to show here, to this there. Yeah, well, a little bit of masking, you might get 2 on there. But anyhow, just wanted to show you that it will fit with all the other frames as well. So let's just ink around the edges, as I've been saying. I'm going to use Carved Pumpkin, which is a nice bright orange. Spice Marmalade would also work really well. And we're just going to touch the edges. You could do this if you wanted to, but we're going to just touch the edges with kind of a circular motion. Here, I'm just going to drag it like that. I'm at an angle as well, so I'm not going flat, I'm at an angle. And you find that you pick up some of the ink from your mat as well. That just edges it nicely. And I keep all mine in bags. Some of the bags are a little bit messy, and it's amazing. The ink just stays usable for absolutely ages, and sometimes you don't need to re-ink at all. You could colour in with this if you wanted to. It's a lovely colour, Carved Pumpkin. It's not just for Halloween. So let's get this stuck. You could, like I say, you can make tag shaped cards, so you could put this could be on the front of a tag card, and there is another video on my YouTube channel that shows you how to do that. Sometimes I don't even think that I could make a card. I just think tags, bookmarks. It's just if you've got a block, or you don't know what to do, or you're finding a card frightening, a smaller area to work on, like a tag, can be a great thing to do. And also, you could keep a box of tags that you've got to give as a gift if you want to, or if you've got a gift to give, obviously you can write on the back. But they could be like a prompt for you to make a card as well. So let's give it a good old push on the back. Be careful around the edges, because with die cuts they fold in and you could get a paper cut. So just be careful. So there we are. There's our tag, all finished. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful to think about using your Floral Curios frames in a slightly different way. Remember, you can buy them from my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, shipping to UK addresses. You'll also find them at Honeypot Crafts too. And do like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really like it when I see comments from you. Obviously you'll get, if you hit the notifications button, you'll get notified as soon as another video drops. So like I say, I hope you've enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.